Listen, we had to deal with Ashley today. We had to deal with Vanessa today. The only thing that was missing was Tomas to complete the trifecta of suck that this show gives us. Hello, fellow Beyond the Gates viewers. Here to talk about today's Friday episode and what you could expect with this show over the past several months now. Friday episodes are either going to be bad or boring, and today we got both, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of those days where I have to tear the show apart because I was not pleased with today's episode. And this week overall has just really showed us how far the writing has fallen. It's definitely gotten as bad as the other American soap operas. Can't defend it anymore. It is what it is what it is. So I know, some of you that get sensitive in the comments when I criticize the show, this probably isn't the review for you today because I don't think today was a good example of a good show. We had to start with trash yet again. 5 days this week, trash was on the show. Trash, for anyone that doesn't know, is Vanessa. Today we had a follow up with her and Joey from yesterday's episode. But with the amount of times that trash has been on this week, all 5 episodes, you might as well just call this show a landfill because it's just filled with trash all week long. Joey and Vanessa talked because in yesterday's episode, Vanessa wanted to know more about Joey because suddenly Deanna questioning her if she really knows Joey made Vanessa want to learn more about Joey. Vanessa talked about how he must have had investigated her background to investigate her job for the whole money laundering scheme in the first place. And so she wants to do the same to him. But really, today, she just had questions about his family. We got a bit of a sob story from Joey, to be honest. And I feel like Kimmy in the Ladies of London show I just reviewed, Joey made me hate sob stories today because it's not like I felt sorry for Joey whatsoever. But at the same time, I have to ask this again because this is something I've been talking about all week. How are we supposed to have a payoff with this long ass story when it started with a Joey and Vanessa affair, Doug's gambling? What is the payoff to this story? Joey being a big villain. If the show is trying to make Joey more likable, while at the same time just butchering Vanessa and making her so unlikable, what is the payoff for this damn story? Today's the same. Joey's giving his sob story about his father who ruled with an iron fist and sometimes hit Joey, and sometimes Joey just ceased to exist in his eyes, yada yada yada. I was more interested in learning about Joey's sister, who he apparently doesn't get along with. She seemed to be Daddy's favorite, and her name's Heather. It sounded like Joey was very jealous of her growing up. I guess maybe I would like to see Heather someday, only if it leads to both Joey and Vanessa's downfalls. But what really made me roll my eyes today in these scenes with Trash and Joey was when, after Joey gave his sob story about his father, Vanessa suddenly acted all big and bad. She had a line like, "Oh, I would have taken that sucker out for you for what he did to you, Joey," when talking about Joey's father. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what the writing is for with Vanessa, but whosever idea is on crystal meth or something because I am not seeing the vision for this storyline whatsoever. Kat, meanwhile, ran into Donnell, and Kat had some good scenes with Donnell. In fact, it just showed how little chemistry she and Tomas have because Kat and Donnell actually had some today when Kat was giving him the good jobs for being the one to escort Samantha to the cotillion. Kat then tried to console Donnell about Deanna's reaction to finding out about Joey and Vanessa. Kat herself was shocked to hear that Vanessa and Joey are romantic. Kat then even kind of tried to stick up for Joey, saying that Joey helped when Chelsea was kidnapped because she went to Joey because the woman Allison was using his escort service. So today was the day that Donnell learned that Joey owns Heart Attach, the escort service, although Vanessa owns it now. I guess maybe that could be some information that makes Donnell less of a pussy like yesterday and maybe actually want to help his mother like Deanna does. But we'll see if that plays out. Later, Donnell did meet up with Vanessa. Joey gave them some time to talk, and we learned that he got Deanna on a train out of town. And so any slight interest in this terrible storytelling goes out the window if Deanna's not even involved with it. I mean, I'm glad she gave us some drama yesterday. Yesterday was the only dramatic episode this entire week, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any episodes next week that are dramatic. There's only 3 episodes on next week, which frankly is a good thing. I can use a break from the bad writing as of late. Vanessa talked about how Joey offered to stay away from the free clinic, but she felt that it would be so unfair after all the money that he gave to the clinic. And as I talked with someone in the comments yesterday, another problem with Vanessa kind of is Lauren, who plays Vanessa. Even though I really like her, I like the actress in some ways on the show, but also outside of the show. She's pretty funny on social media. But she is an awful crier. Her cry acting is pretty bad. And I feel like that's another reason why it's hard to take Vanessa seriously, like she actually ever gave a shit about Doug at this point. So that doesn't help. But these entire scenes with Vanessa and Donnell were Vanessa trying to stick up for Joey, and at one point even trying to ask Donnell to stick up for Joey more with Deanna and let Deanna know that Joey has actually been so kind through all of this. Donnell brought up how Joey owned the casino where Doug was the night he died, and that's why Deanna feels like she has to trade in her father for some sleazy crook. That's when Joey walked back in. Donnell then talked about how he's just worried about Deanna's rage and thinks there might be something else going on with her. I don't know if this will connect to the escort service or what, but the storytelling for this story is bad. And without Deanna, who actually makes it a little more interesting, what's the point of it? So I assume we're going to see Deanna again, hopefully sooner rather than later. But if they continue to shove this storyline down our throat, it's going to need Deanna, because everyone else involved in this storyline gets on my last nerve, including Donnell. Moving on to the other non-stories today, Martin went to go see Vernon. Martin learned that Kat is moving in with Vernon and Anita. Martin also has a problem with Joey Armstrong because he's thinking ahead, because he was approached for a possible future run for the Senate, and he thinks that Joey would be in the wings wanting to demand some favors. Since he still owes Joey right now for the whole Kenny thing, Vernon gave Martin a speech about how he will listen to his constituents over Joey anyway. And Vernon also said that Martin can trust that with Joey Armstrong will always protect his self-interest over everything. And right now, Martin is his self-interest. Naomi was on with Derek today. Derek was in a suit because they had the free clinic opening today, even though we didn't get to see the free clinic. Derek was asking what time Jacob gets off so they could all go out. Naomi's saying she doesn't know all the details of Jacob's training. I assume the whole point of these scenes today was so that Derek can bring up his concerns about Grayson again, acting like he doesn't care about Grayson and Ashley dating, but he did find it odd. He finds things odd about Grayson. He, of course, talked about the free clinic opening that we didn't get to see. We, of course, only get to hear about it. But it turns out that Grayson and Ashley were at the free clinic opening, apparently, and Grayson gave himself his own tour, was just being a big snoop or something, but we didn't get to see it, so how are we supposed to care? This show seems to always forget that. Jacob and Grayson today were on the elevator. Jacob still in his undercover attire from the Dollar Tree, as people in the comments have said. I think Alicia, but maybe it was somebody else. Jacob is telling Grayson to stop wasting Ashley's time. They were in the elevator for another pickup, by the way, for the whole blood plasma thing. But Jacob stopped the elevator to talk to Grayson about Ashley, that he should leave Ashley alone because if Ashley finds out that Grayson has been keeping things from her, she's going to dump him anyway, because that's what happened between Ashley and Derek. But Grayson seems to think that Ashley will never find that out. Grayson met up with Ashley, which we'll get to, but then Jacob texted Naomi to meet up, only for them to fuck. That's about the only thing they do lately when they see each other. Listen, we had to deal with Ashley today. We had to deal with Vanessa today. The only thing that was missing was Tomas to complete the trifecta of suck that this show gives us, but he wasn't on today. You know, they send Deanna out of town, an actually interesting character, but we are still stuck with the likes of Ashley to pretend to care about her. The point of these Grayson and Ashley scenes today seemed to be to talk about his mom again and how he's been helping her out, and it was to show us that Ashley really cares about Grayson and his mom and that he appreciates how much Ashley cares. But really it was to show us that Grayson is lying to Ashley, and maybe that will be future problems for this couple, even though we don't care about this couple. We also got to see Grayson come back late to the hospital, which upset the chief of staff. She was upset that Grayson was late and on the wrong floor and was asking if Ashley is becoming too much of a distraction. Grayson told her that he would not let his personal life affect his job. He says there's been no complaints so far, and she says if there were complaints, he would already be dead. So this is definitely talking about him being a part of the blood plasma thing. So yeah, the chief of staff threatening Grayson today definitely shows us that she is involved with the ring. Does that make her the impaler? I'm not sure about that quite yet. But yeah, that was the end to our week. Not a great week for the show overall. We had some drama with Deanna yesterday, but now she's out of town. Next week, the show is only on 3 times because of college basketball. It will give us a break, but it's also just going to point out how bad the writing is, because I don't think next week's episodes are going to be much better judging by the preview. But I will be back on Sunday to talk about the preview, but probably more so to talk about y'all's comments. That has become more fun than talking about the actual preview.